And we're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here for Thursday, April 10th. We've got 6 games today in the MLB, and we're going to go over at least 5 of them today. The one, I'll just say right now, that we're not going to talk about is the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. I just couldn't find value in that game. The other 5 games, I like the value in, so we're going to go over those 5 for our 5 best bets for the MLB today. Tomorrow, almost every team, I actually think every team in the MLB plays tomorrow on Friday, so we'll get to that when we get there. But today, again, 5 best bets for the 6 available games. And folks, before we get into the best bets, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB best bets here on the channel. Later today, we will have our NBA predictions. Huge one today in the Western Conference between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So make sure to join us for that 10 a.m. Pacific for that video. And also make sure to go check us out on Greedo Plays MMA this weekend from Miami, UFC 314, the vacant featherweight championship. Alexander Volkanovski takes on Diego Lopez, and in the co-main event, Iron Michael Chandler takes on Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. And also in the Professional Fighters League this Friday, PFL 2, Leandro Higo, Josh Rettenhouse in the main event. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets for today. We go to the very first game of the day, Rays and Angels. Jose Soriano versus Zach Lytle on the mound tonight. We're taking the Rays at home, minus 135. So the Rays have been severely underwhelming this season. Now, I kind of saw this coming at the beginning of the year, I'll be honest. Like, watching that first series with the Rays and the Rockies, and I know, again, the Rays won that series, and they actually started the season, 4-1? But watching that Colorado series that they did win, I was just like, I was so unimpressed with the squad. And I think, the Rays' whole thing for the last 10 years, dating back to their World Series, including their World Series bid in 2020. I understand they were loaded back then, at least more than they are now. But the Rays, their whole thing has always been, all right, we're just going to make use of what we've got, and we're going to try and make a push, and we probably can make a push to the playoffs, even with, maybe, half the payroll, if that, of the other elite teams in the American League. Now, obviously, again, the Wander Franco thing set them back big time because he was their franchise guy. Where is that guy now? Is he in prison? I genuinely don't know. But they've got players, right? I mean, you got Junior Caminero who came up, and he's been pretty solid this season, but I just, I'm not sold on Tampa Bay. With that being said, we are actually taking them to beat the Angels because the Angels aren't very good. They're 7-4. That record is kind of fraudulent because when you really dive deep into this, they played 3 teams to start the year who I don't think are all that good. Well, one of them just isn't playing all that well right now. We'll get to them in a second. But they beat the White Sox, 2 out of 3 games. They then beat the Cardinals 2 out of 3 games, and then beat Cleveland 2 out of 3 games, right? The Cardinals and White Sox, we're not expecting anything big out of either of those teams this season. And Cleveland, they're just ice cold right now. They're starting to get it going with the White Sox series. Obviously, they dominated that series, and I assume they're going to sweep that today as well. Horrible ending, by the way, yesterday for the White Sox. Mike Tauchman rounding third base, and he pulls his hammy with the game on the line. Yikes. But anyways, the Angels will look to win their 4th consecutive series, winning all 4 of these series 2 out of 3 games. I just don't think it happens here. Eventually, the Angels are going to cool down, and I think this is, the series where they start to hit that mark. I mean, they get Houston next, Texas after that, and they get the Giants. Oh, we'll see. I mean, those are some teams that are playing a lot better right now than St. Louis and Chicago are. But the Angels lost yesterday, a very close game. 5-4 was won by the Rays. Kyron Paris has been, absolutely on fire this year. Paris batting .440, went yard twice yesterday. That's big time for the Angels. Mike Trout has struggled, let's just be honest. He's batting .180 so far this season. Soler behind him batting .230, but he homered obviously yesterday as well. I think Jose Soriano's all right. He had a very good first start of the year, cooled off in his second one. I don't mind Lytle. I'm not blown away by the guy, but I think he gets the job done. And I just think Tampa Bay wins this game at home. It's getaway day here. The game's in Tampa Bay, or at least in Florida. And I think the Rays will get it done. Again, their lineup is not going to blow you away. I understand, right? I mean, Yandy Diaz, who had a home run yesterday opposite field. He's batting .170 this season. Junior Caminero, we think he's going to be a great ball player, but he's batting .230 so far this year. Christopher Morel is batting .280. He got robbed of the home run by Zach Hampel the other night. It is what it is. Jose Caballero is having a pretty good season. Hit a 3-run shot, or grand slam was it? It was a grand slam from Caminero in the first inning for Tampa Bay yesterday. And then you got Jake Magnum, who I think's pretty solid. He's batting .370 on the year. Went hitless yesterday, but Magnum's a pretty solid player. Yeah, I think the Rays win this game at home. Light on the mound, I'm okay with that. Soriano, he's got some good stuff, but did get blown up in his second start this season. So I think Tampa Bay will get this win. You look at the odds, minus 135 for the Rays, plus 115 for the Angels. I'm going with the home team, the Tampa Bay Rays, to win our first game of the day, minus 135. And with the Washington Nationals not playing today, we will have no, obviously, Washington Nationals best bet. As, by the way, we swept that in the Dodgers series. Nationals plus 1.5, Dylan Cruz hit, Nationals plus 1.5. They should have won yesterday, but it's okay. We covered. So we're just going to do 3 money lines instead today. So that's the first. Okay, on to the second of our 5 best bets today. We go to our best player prop of the day, and we're doubling up on Jonathan Cannon. We went to Jonathan Cannon earlier this season. We're going to do it again. I'm taking Jonathan Cannon over on 3.5 strikeouts. The line is minus 120. I think this plays. Okay. I understand Jonathan Cannon had a pretty bad last start. Against the Tigers, he goes 3 2/3, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 hits, 3 runs, gave up a home run. But still, in those 3 2/3 innings, he still had 3 strikeouts. His first start of the year was much better. Didn't give up a run against the Angels. It goes 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. So the walks are a concern 100% with Jonathan Cannon. But the thing is, they're playing the Guardians. I want to say the Indians. They're playing the Guardians. And for as good as Cleveland, I think, can be, and I ultimately think this team is still going to win the American League Central. The Tigers might get that, but I do like the Guardians a lot. I think they're a really good baseball team, and I think they're going to figure it out. And obviously, they have figured it out in this White Sox series. But ultimately, guys, in 2 games, they've scored 4 runs. But that's good enough to beat the White Sox twice. Now, again, Tauchman had the injury. You know, that game should have probably gone into extras, right? They were finding ways to get hits off of Clase. I mean, hell, it's hard to get 2 hits in one inning, let alone 3 against Emmanuel Clase. But the Guardians yesterday in that entire game, they won the game with 3 hits. Right? They scored 2 runs in the first inning. Big Christmas had an RBI single. I believe J-Ram scored as well. And then Carlos Santana had a solo home run. They had 3 hits the entire game. It's weird. And the Guardians, I mean, this is obviously not sustainable, but it does say something that, okay, the Guardians are finding ways to win even when they aren't playing well, because they're not close to how they were obviously last year when they were in the playoffs and whatnot. This is bad baseball the Guardians are playing, but they have found a way to win the first 2 in the set against the White Sox. And don't get me wrong, I think they probably win this game too, but we just need Jonathan Cannon to get 4 strikeouts. I think that's more than achievable here, guys. The Guardians are just struggling. You take away their top 3 guys, right, who are obviously great. Steven Kwan, All-Star Game starter last year. Jose Ramirez, All-Star his entire career, All-Star last year as well. And Carlos Santana was at a really good year, homered yesterday. You take away those three top guys in Kwan, Ramirez, and Santana, what is left? I mean, Big Christmas will have his nights. Nolan Jones hasn't really been all that hot this year. Yes, he had the walk-off walk a couple of days ago in Cleveland at Progressive Field. Lane Thomas is in and out the lineup. I believe he just didn't play yesterday, but I mean, Thomas should be playing tonight, even though Cannon's a righty. Lane should be playing. Lane Thomas hits lefties really well. He does struggle some with rights, but regardless, right, you assume Lane Thomas will be back in the lineup, but Rocchio's struggled. There's been a lot of guys in this Guardians lineup, again, beyond the top 3 who have struggled mightily. And at the same time, the potential for strikeouts are there. So for Chicago yesterday, it was Sean Burke who started. He goes 80 pitches, 3 innings, but still had 4 strikeouts. Again, command is an issue with all of the White Sox pitchers. Again, Burke goes 3 innings, 4 walks, gives up 3 runs, and the only 3 runs that the Guardians scored all game long. But the guy pitched 3 innings and still found a way to get 4 strikeouts. That's what we need out of Jonathan Cannon tonight, and I'm really hoping the controls, it's under control. But I hope his control is under control this time around tonight. Because he has struggled with that mightily in his first 2 starts. Yes, I've watched Jonathan Cannon starts. That means I've watched a lot of White Sox baseball, unfortunately. He doesn't have bad stuff, and really when we look at this Guardians lineup, man, I mean, they do strike out. Right, beyond, I mean, we know Steven Kwan's not going to strike out. The guy's a contact machine. And, hell, even like Carlos Santana, he's going to strike out. He's going to hit the ball hard, obviously. But there's just a lot of guys who are going to whiff. Nolan Jones has been striking out quite a bit this season. We know Joaquin Noel is a big, swing and miss guy. There's opportunities for Cannon tonight. And I just think, again, if he can extend himself tonight and go 5 innings, he's going to get this easy. Yesterday we looked at the line with Brandon Pfaadt, under 5.5 strikeouts, but he had 3. I mean, I felt like that one was mispriced. It was plus 100 for Brandon Pfaadt, under 5.5 strikeouts, and we hit that one fairly easily yesterday. So we're just hoping for some success today with our player prop, and I think Jonathan Cannon will get us that. So over 3.5 strikeouts. Yes, he's 1-1 on this prop all year long, but look at the way the Guardians have been swinging the bat. I think there's big potential for Jonathan Cannon here tonight. Don't get me wrong. I think the Guardians still win the baseball game, but I think Jonathan Cannon is able to get these 4 strikeouts. Just give us 5 innings. I think 5 innings should do it. The way the Guardians have been swinging the bat right now, and expect Cleveland to, I'm not joking, win this game probably 3-1 again, or 3-2, something like that. So I'm taking Cleveland to win, but obviously that's not the best bet. The best bet is Jonathan Cannon over on strikeouts. Let's go to our third best bet of the video, and we move now to our second money line of the day. We're going back to the Kansas City Royals. Guys, yesterday was the most disgusting offensive performance I've watched out of the Royals in a very long time. I know they got shut out earlier this season, but my goodness, that was horrible yesterday. Joe Ryan goes 7 innings of scoreless baseball, and the Royals hit 3 hits. Bobby Witt had a hit, Cavan Biggio had a hit, and Maikel Garcia had a hit. I mean, every inning was 1, 2, 3. It wasn't even like the Royals were working counts. They were getting on base. No, they were just ground out, line out, fly out. I mean, it was ridiculous, man. They could not get anything going in that game. And obviously, Minnesota kept coming on of late, right? You know, in late moments in that game, they scored in the 6th, 8th, and the 9th. Wallner hit a home run in the 8th inning. They let Ty France go yard on them in the 9th inning. On top of that, they let Ty France deliver a clutch hit in the 6th inning as well to go up 2-0. That was bad, I'm not going to lie. I don't think the Royals will do this in back-to-back nights. I remain adamant on the fact that I don't think the Minnesota Twins are all that good. I think they're a team that's going to turn it around eventually. We've been talking a lot of AL Central ball today, but regardless, they're a team that's going to turn it around, but right now, I'm still not sold, right? I mean, if Ty France is delivering you big hits, that's not a sustainable way of winning baseball games. I'm just going to be honest, okay? I've watched Ty France play baseball a lot with the Seattle Mariners. He's not that good. So if Ty France is batting .256 and he's your second leading average guy in your entire team behind Matt Wallner, yeah, that's not sustainable. Carlos Correa is batting .163, Willie Castro's batting .216, Buxton has not been hot this season. Christian Vasquez is batting .105. This is bad. I'm not going to lie to you. I know they won yesterday, and they had a very good game, probably their best game of the season. I'm not joking for the Twins, because of the pitching performance of Joe Ryan and the timely hitting. But this is not sustainable, and the Royals are just the better baseball team. They had a very bad night yesterday, I understand. We look at the pitching matchup tonight, I think it is one that favors Kansas City. You have Bailey Ober on the mound for Minnesota. He's gotten nuked in his first 2 starts this season. The first start of the year against the St. Louis Cardinals, this guy goes 2 2/3, gives up 8 runs on 8 hits and 2 home runs. That's horrible. Second start of the season, goes 4 innings, only 4 innings, but does only give up 1 run to the Houston Astros. I'm not sold on Bailey Ober. Again, that's just not good. Yeah, he's tall, he's 6'9". I don't know what to say. He just hasn't been good this season, and I think the Royals should be able to take advantage. I'm not going to sell you on Michael Wacha. I'm just going to be honest. Like, yeah, Michael Wacha is going to give up runs. If the Royals are going to win today, they're going to need a score, because Wacha is going to give up his 3-4-ish runs as well. Maybe 2-3 runs. I just think the Royals are going to get Ober on like 4 or 5, and I think they're going to get into this Minnesota bullpen a lot earlier than the Twins are going to get to KC's bullpen. I think the potential for having big innings is there with the Royals, again, with guys like Bobby Witt, and you just need the deep ball to start, connecting with guys like Pasquantino and Salvi Perez. It wasn't there last night. Obviously, they got shut out, but just I just don't think Kansas City's going to be able to, or is going to do this in back-to-back nights. It's a getaway game, day game in KC at Kauffman Stadium. I'm okay with the Royals in this spot, and we look at the odds, KC minus 125, Minnesota plus 105. I'm all for this, right? Sure, the Royals aren't going to sweep this series, but they're going to win 3 out of 4 if they can pick up the win tonight, right? The first matchup on Monday, KC won 4-2. They win on Tuesday 2-1. And yeah, right, the Twins get them yesterday 4-0. I just don't think it happens again. I mean, the highest run total of any team in this series is 4 so far, right? I don't know. I think the Royals are going to be able to have a better offensive night tonight. If the Cardinals were able to score 8 off of of Bailey Ober, I think the Royals should be able to give us 4 or 5. I think the Royals do score the most runs of this series. I think KC wins it. I'll say like 6-3, 6-4, but I do feel like the Royals are in a better position to win this baseball game. I'm taking KC at home at Kauffman Stadium, minus 125. Give me the Royals. We go to our 4th best bet of the video, and we go to our 3rd moneyline play of the day. Let's go to Coors Field. The Colorado Rockies versus the Milwaukee Brewers. It is tough to beat a professional baseball team 4 times in a row, I understand, but the Milwaukee Brewers will beat the Colorado Rockies 4 times in a row. Okay, there, I said it. I did come out here yesterday and make the bold statement and bold claim that the Seattle Mariners are the worst team in baseball. I will correct my statement. They're the worst team in the American League, other than the Chicago White Sox. The Colorado Rockies are the worst team in the MLB, though. I still think the Mariners suck, okay? That Astros choke job doesn't, it still means Seattle's horrible, all right? The Mariners, who they play? They play Texas this weekend at home. The Rangers are going to win at least 2 of 3 because the Mariners suck at baseball and they can't hit, okay? Arozarena, he lucked out and hit a home run. Who cares? Anyways, the Rockies are the worst team in baseball. They just are. They have some young talent that I like. I like Zach Veen a lot. I said this a couple days ago. I got to see Zach Veen play when he was still in Single A in Fresno. Very exciting young player. I know he's 1 for 7 so far this year with the bunt, but he'll get it going. I like Chase Dollander a lot. I mean, these are 2 guys who I watched prior to the bigs, right? I watched Dollander a lot at Tennessee. But other than that, man, I mean, yes, Doyle and Tovar are great. What else is going for the squad? Ryan McMahon will give you big nights. Their pitching is just so mid, though, man. So tonight they're starting Ryan Feltner. Feltner so far this season, 3.60 ERA. Not horrible, but gave up 8 hits in his last start against the Athletics. 3 runs, so he limited the damage, but I don't know. I feel like Milwaukee, the way they're swinging the bat, this is going to be tough. Milwaukee starting Quinn Priester tonight, which is going to be something. First appearance of the year for him. Last year, 4.71 ERA. A limited sample size. Started the season in Pittsburgh, then went to Boston at the end of the year. We'll see what we get. I'd expect a lot of runs in this game. Obviously, it's a Coors Field game up at altitude, but I just feel like the Brewers are going to be able to win this shootout. I mean, hell, we look at yesterday's score, and obviously baseball, again, they play 162 games a year, so obviously, things vary on a day-to-day basis, but the Milwaukee Brewers scored 17 runs yesterday against the Rockies. Jackson Chourio hit a home run. He had 5 RBI yesterday. And the Brewers, after that, horrendous first series of the season in the Bronx against the Yankees, have bounced back in a really good way. Milwaukee 7-5 this year, right? I mean, they, again, scored 17 runs on Colorado yesterday. And then in the first game of the series, they won 7-1 at Coors Field. You look at this team, right? They have gotten it going. Bryce Turang's batting 327. Jackson Chourio batting 315. Christian Yelich struggling a little bit, batting 171, but goes 2 for 5 yesterday, hits a home run in the 9th inning. Wilson Contreras has been struggling too. He did go yard yesterday as well, though, but he's batting 154. Frelick batting 356. Garrett Mitchell batting 276. I mean, there's guys who are going to show up for this Brewers team, and they've been showing it so far in this series against the Rocks. Now, for Colorado, Bretton Doyle, again, he's a certified baseball player. We know how good that guy is. We know how good Ezekiel Tovar can be. Other than that, I'm not sold about anything on this squad. I think Ryan McMahon can, he can swing it. Had a home run yesterday as well. But man, I think Zach Veen will eventually turn it around. Again, he's had, 2 career starts, so I'm not concerned with him. Michael Toglia, though, is a guy who's never really arrived for Colorado. Let's just be honest. Chris Bryant is the worst contract in the National League. Let's just be honest. Patrick Corbin's, contract's up with the Nationals. Anthony Rendon plays in the American League. Chris Bryant might be the worst contract in the NL. I know he went 2 for 4 yesterday, but he's batting 194 in the season, and it just sucks, right? Because Brice Bryant was the guy for so many years. Former MVP, and look at him now. He's a common in MLB The Show. He's a 64 overall. So I think the Brewers get this night. Yes, the pitching matchup's a little bit shaky, but who do I expect to win a shootout? Milwaukee, right? I mean, this has killed Colorado for as long as they've sucked for the last, 10 seasons at this point now. It feels like it. This team just isn't equipped to win shootouts at Coors Field. All these road teams come into Denver and they gladly, accept this shootout. They score a bunch of runs, and sometimes Colorado just can't match them like last night with the Brewers. I do feel like this one is going to be a game where there are 15 combined runs scored, but ultimately, I think the Brewers are going to get the better of this. Just look at the way the Brewers have been swinging the bat in these first 2 games of the series. 24 combined runs in the first 2 games? I'd expect, about on average tonight. I think the Brewers might get into double digits tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if they score 10. I'm serious. Give me the Brewers to win this baseball game. The odds are kind of close, and I like it. -115. Give me the Brewers here to sweep the Rockies at Coors Field. To our final best bet of the night, we go to our daily NRFI, or NRFI, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. The only evening game tomorrow at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. 2 NL East squads, and we need 6 outs out of Spencer Schwellenbach and Jesus Luzardo. feel like this is fairly good. No, I don't know. We've been, watching the way these first two games have transpired in this series. 7-5 victory in the first one for the Braves, 4-3 victory for the Phillies, right? Trey Turner comes through with the big home run to win the game for the Phillies ultimately. Bryce Harper goes yard yesterday. Again, elite player in the sport, best player in the sport, just saying. And Taijuan Walker, give the guy a lot of credit, man. 4 2/3, 0 runs earned, 0 runs scored on Taijuan Walker in that outing. Luzardo and Schwellenbach have been really good this year, though. And Schwellenbach last year pitched fairly well against Philadelphia. So I really like this spot. Luzardo, when we look at the top of both these orders, and by the way, have the NRFIs hit in the first two games? Well, it hit yesterday, right? No runs were scored till the 6th inning. The opening game of the series, NRFI did hit as well. So we're looking for 3 straight NRFIs in this Phillies-Braves series. The bigger threat, I don't care that Atlanta's split in this series and the Braves bats have come alive. The bigger threat is the Philadelphia Phillies bats in this. It undoubtedly is. But I do like this because I think Schwellenbach's the best pitcher pitching tonight. Schwellenbach, I don't know where the Braves keep pulling these guys out their ass, but Schwellenbach is great. This is a guy who had a really good season last year, and in 2 starts this year, he's gotten 14 innings combined, and he's given up 0 runs over 14 innings. 10 strikeouts in 8 innings against the Miami Marlins, and 6 innings, 4 strikeouts against the San Diego Padres. They ended up losing that game, by the way, to San Diego 1-0. But Schwellenbach's had a great year so far. So I don't think the Phillies, they all have a P in their logo. I don't think that the Phillies are going to be able to score in the first inning against Schwellenbach. Sure, there's some great hitters in this. Hell, I know the starting 4 by heart for the Phillies because they're all former Nationals and Alec Bohm. But still, right, it's Trey, Bryce, Bohm, Schwarber, however they hit them. Sometimes they'll go Schwarber, Trey, Bryce, Bohm. It's going to be the combination of those 4 with Realmuto and Castellanos in the 5-6. Castellanos, the Realmuto. Anyways, I think Schwellenbach's able to get 3 outs. I think he is, right? I think he's able to get Turner. We'll see if he gets Harper. But Bohm, I doubt Bohm's going to be batting the 3 tomorrow because Schwellenbach's a right. No, because they saw Sale yesterday, so that's why he's in the 3. So it'll probably be Schwarber, Turner, Harper. I think Schwellenbach sees Bryce Harper with the bases empty. I think maybe Bryce gets a hit. And then we get Castellanos? Or no, we get Bohm. We'll be all right there. And then you look at the Braves. I think we're able to get 3 outs with Jesus Luzardo here. Favorable matchup against Michael Harris. Ozzie Albies, hasn't been swinging the bat all that hot this season. Let's just be honest. And then Ozuna from the Braves. Yeah, Ozuna can hit it. And if we get to Matt Olson, there's left, right? I'm okay with this. I really am with Luzardo. I think Luzardo's been good this season, right? You look at his 2 starts so far this year. Goes 5 innings against the Nationals, gets 11 strikeouts, gives up 2 runs. The Dodgers start 8 strikeouts, 7 innings, 0 runs, 2 hits. Yeah, these 2 pitchers have been very good this season, and I understand there's some really good lineups on both sides here at Philadelphia and Atlanta. But you look at the starting pitching and tell me these 2 guys can't get us 6 outs. I'm gonna play it again. Yesterday, our NRFI did not hit. Whatever. But we're going to bounce back today. Give me 6 outs. Jesus Luzardo, Spencer Schwellenbach, Phillies versus Braves. We'll see who wins the game. I think Philadelphia is going to end up getting it, but who knows? Again, I still think the Phillies are the best team in baseball. But regardless, give me the NRFI between Luzardo, Schwellenbach, Phillies, Braves to end the night here in Atlanta at Truist Park. So folks, thank y'all for watching our 5 best bets for the MLB here on April 10th. If you haven't yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.